Word, son. What do you do, YouTube? It's your boy, Jada Vine. All right, man, before we get into this video, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share the word spread links because you know how I do. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload. Without further ado, let's get up into it. All right, man, so the Madden 25 trailer came out today, and what I was going to do is I was going to split it up. I was going to do earlier in the day talking about the Madden 25 trailer, and then later I was going to talk about the thoughts that I have for the first wave or the first session of the beta, because there's going to be another one, I think, starting June 28th with the closed beta, or it might be open. I don't know, but yeah, so I was going to talk about those two in two separate videos, but seeing as how late it is, I figured I might as well go ahead and just put them all in one video. And at the same exact time, there's not really a whole lot to break down in this trailer, as you can see. First things first, as you guys can already see, excuse me. First thing that you guys can already see is that they do have the new kickoff rules implemented, and at first I was a little skeptic about it. I was a little sketched out. I was like, well, how is this going to fare? How's it going to work? But now I understand how it works. Now I will say, it's a little weird to get used to, but I think that over time, I think we'll kind of get used to it, or we might vote back for the regular kickoff to go back. I don't really know, but yeah, as far as this boom technology that they're trying to push out and go for, you know, it's classic EA words, play on words about, you know, this new technology or this new stuff that they try to bring in, or they tear it down and build it back up and call it some other new name, and just a bunch of stuff, man. You know what I mean? They said that they improved AI blocking and stuff like that. Like I said, we'll dive into that in a little bit, because we're going to talk about how my experience was with the beta for the first session. But it's that, and I know they implemented the switch stick. They brought that over. Of course, college football said that they have it. Madden has it as well. The custom stems, they're also in there as well. Let me see, what else is there? I know I have the Eagles, and I know that all the quarterbacks have, I guess you can call a hot route apprentice, I guess. And you know, all the quarterbacks have the extended excuse me, the extended, you know, routes that they can put on a wide receiver. Now, if a wide receiver has outside apprentice, or I'm sorry, I said hot route apprentice. I meant hot route master. If your wide receiver has outside apprentice or whatever it is, they have that ability on, where they get extra routes, then you can go accordingly to that. Let me see, what else is there? Jeez. They claim that franchise is being updated or rebuilt, revamped, whatever, man. You know, like I said, it's not really a whole lot to break down in this trailer. As far as the, you know, the break tackles and the movements and stuff go, you know, they're really trying to implement a physics-based type of thing, which they've said it for 2-3 years now. And again, we're going to get into that. Now, some of these break tackles where these guys are doing jukes and spinning, it looks kind of predetermined, but, you know, that's just clever camera cutting and work by EA, try to make it seem like it's more than what it is. But I will say the little small things, as far as like the player movement and stuff like that, you know, before the line, and, you know, just little small stuff that are trying to mimic real life, I got to kind of give y'all that. And again, we're going to talk about that in the beta as well. But as far as the trailer goes, man, there's not really a whole lot to pull from that. Yeah, yeah, I think that's about it for that trailer. So now, what everybody's waiting on, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to talk about the beta and my experiences. So first things first with the beta. Overall, the gameplay, even though it's a beta, I can see where they're trying to go with it. I can understand where they're trying to take Madden 25 this year. Now, one of the things that I did ask for them to get rid of, because I hated it so much, they got rid of the momentum system, or that momentum bar. Of course, all the teams have their home field advantage. Of course, they all have that. But that momentum bar, where like if you do so well, the away team is going to drop the ball more often, or they're gonna tire out more, or, you know, small little gameplay quirks that you can get for a team depending on how good or bad they're doing. They took that out, so now it's just all about home field advantage, which I'm glad that they did, because I hated that so much. I don't think that's fair to like alter the gameplay to the point where you have that. You know what I'm saying? Your quirks depend on how well you do in the game, and no matter if I'm trying to come back or not, I can't do that because you got these quirks enabled. You know what I'm saying? So they took that out, so now it's just home field advantage. The physics-based tackling, I would say it's there. I would say it's there. It's still heavily animated. Not gonna say heavily animated, but they kind of make sense almost. Like, give an example. Like, you saw how, like, the guy was bouncing off of other people in the gameplay trailer, right? Now, one thing I will say is this: between playing on sim and competitive, unlearn all of those habits that you have from Madden 23 and Madden 24. Unlearn them now, because they will get you in trouble. Now they have it to where you have to time these hit sticks. Now I know people are going to say, oh, well, you had to time them before then. No, you definitely got to time them now. You know what I'm saying? Because if you time it it'll literally tell you too early, slightly early, perfect, late, slightly late, very late. And that's how they do it. So you really have to time these hit sticks now. You know what I'm saying? You might can get away with a slightly early, slightly late, but to get your best chance of poking the ball loose, or to be able to actually kind of rattle the ball, is you have to time it perfectly. You know what I mean? Now, on competitive, you could probably get away with getting a slightly later, slightly early, but on sim, it has to be spot on. And also, ratings definitely matter. Ratings and momentum and your player weight and all that good stuff, that matters. Now, I will say this: there have been times where, because of this physics system and that trying to implement, the boom tech and all that good stuff, again, you could bounce off players if they're trying to, put a hit stick on you, because, players have, the ball carriers have balance to them now, or they're trying to add balance to the ball carriers. With that being said, there have been times where weight and momentum didn't matter. And I feel like that physics needs to be tweaked before the full game comes out, because I had Roquan Smith, right? Roquan Smith going up against Justin Jefferson. Now, Justin Jefferson is 195 pounds. Roquan Smith, both of them are 6'1". Roquan Smith is 231, right? He has, He has 90-something tackling and 81 hit power. Justin Jefferson has maybe 80, 81 break tackle, right? Now, keep in mind, because I had a replay and I wrote video of it, but I don't want to show it on this channel and get in trouble. So when the guy caught the ball, when Jefferson caught the ball, I had Roquan Smith and I was running down to him. Now, I had maybe about 4 or 5 steps in, so I had, a good amount of momentum behind me, and I had a full head of steam running towards him. He catches the ball, maybe takes 2 steps. I lean into him with a hit stick, and he is somehow able to just withstand that hit as if he's Derrick Henry or something, or as if like it didn't matter or it didn't faze him. So like, with that being said, I feel like you have to implement player weight, momentum, and all of that stuff. Of course, ratings, of course, for sure. But if I have 4 or 5 steps in and I'm like got a full head of steam coming towards him, or I got more momentum going towards him, and if he's only like 1 or 2 steps in, you kind of got to do the math on that. You know what I mean? You have to either allow me to hit him, and I don't care if it's one of those hits where I hit him and he kind of like stumbles or whatever, he's almost to the ground almost. I don't care what it is, but you have to make it to where it makes sense. I'm not saying I got to blow him up every single play, but what I'm saying is, if you're going to make it count, make it count. If you're going to make player ratings and weight and momentum and all that stuff matter, you have to implement that. Another thing too, sometimes the physics can weird out, because there was another instance where I was playing with Derrick Henry. Now, of course, we all know Derrick Henry's a dog. We all know how big and beefy this dude is. So there was a time where I was running the ball with Derrick Henry up the gut, and I believe it was a safety that came down to try to hit Derrick Henry, and he pretty much didn't even stop any train of movement that Derrick Henry had, and they pretty much just made it seem like he was just like a piece of paper in the air. You know what I mean? Like, he dove, and all that forward momentum that he had was completely negated, and he just got pushed back with the ease. The safety didn't even have a chance at stopping Derrick Henry. Not like Derrick Henry got hit, he got slowed down or whatever, pushed him off or bowled him over or whatever, and then kept on going. No, he literally had a stride going. The safety came down and tried to hit him. He literally got pushed out of the way. Derrick Henry didn't even break stride. Like, it looked really, really phony and looked fake. Now, I understand people are going to say, well, these games aren't going to be perfect. And of course, that goes without saying. I want people to stop saying that because I'm saying these things, or I make these breakdown videos, or I'm talking about like Madden or NCAA, whatever it is. I want people to stop saying that, oh, I want these games to be perfect, when that was never the case, and I never said that. You know what I mean? But I'm getting off on a tangent. So let me see. Next thing is the blocking. Now, as far as the blocking goes, yes, it has been improved. And of course, we said that year and again. But the only problem I have is there are times where the lineman will stand up because there's nobody in front of him to do anything. He'll stand up and will literally take himself out of the play, or he'll stand up, move to the left, or whatever it is, and he'll literally move himself out of the way to let a guy come in free. Or, you know, if it's not happening to me, I'm able to do it to the person I'm playing against, or doing it to the computer. We've got to fix the whole idea that because a lineman stands up and he has nothing to do, that means go forward and then back up. No, we cannot have that. We got a pocket we're trying to maintain here. But when there were times where the pocket was maintained, it was relatively decent. And a lot of the times, you know, sometimes we'll say that the blocking broke down. We just got to step up in the pocket. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty much muscle memory to back up even further because we see somebody coming off the edge, or we see somebody coming in free from the edge. We just back up even further rather than stepping in. I think that we should kind of necessarily, to the people that have that habit, we should start stepping in the pocket to buy more time. You know what I mean? And I was doing that a lot, and I was noticing how I was able to get more time doing that. But yeah, the blocking is kind of hit or miss. I say out of 100%, if you split it down the middle, I say maybe 60, maybe 55% of the time, the blocking was all right. It was decent. And then the other percent, which is not very far behind, it kind of was wonky at times. But again, it's a beta, but we kind of need to make sure we get that fixed beforehand. Let's see. As far as the passing goes, the passing feels the same. You know, I gotta say it feels the same. But I definitely feel like I don't know. I kind of feeling different about it. I'll go more into detail probably in the second session when that comes around. But the passing feels kind of the same. You know what I mean? I've kind of gotten to the point where I use placement and accuracy. So now when I throw these passes, I can actually hit them in stride, or actually can place my passes where I need to go. Let's see. What else is there as far as offense goes? Yeah, man. I mean, it feels almost, other than the things I named, it feels relatively the same. You know what I'm saying? Aside from, you know, the tackling, the physics, and all that good stuff. Defense, as far as that goes, the line play on defense, like I said, it's hit or miss. And the same percentage that I used before when we was talking about the O-line is the same thing on the D-line. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of like the insta sheds at times. And one more thing that I meant to talk about as well before we get into the defense. I'm not really sure if holding R2 still grants insta sheds whenever you, because you know they try to tell you to not press R2 whenever you're running the ball. Wait, you hit the hold and then hit R2. But I was noticing that if I wasn't doing that, I was getting taken down in the backfield a lot faster. But I'm not sure if holding R2 grants insta sheds anymore. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do some research into that. But back to the D-line. You know, the war in the trenches, it's there. I definitely can say it's there. Do we need some tuning? Absolutely, but it's there. That's all I can say, that it's there. The linebackers, I will say that they're a little bit more reactive. They are a little bit more reactive. The times that I was playing, I was seeing how linebackers, they weren't picking off passes, but I was seeing how they were actually jumping up to swat these passes down. Whether it was putting their hands up without turning around, which I know is kind of phony, but you know, if they saw the ball and they were able to make a play on it, if they couldn't pick it, they'll swat it down. That's what I was seeing some of the times. Another thing I was noticing too, that play ball mechanic is still not there. I don't know why they haven't brought that back. I guess they still haven't got the logic down for that yet. But yeah, so that's still kind of non-existent. But the linebackers, I feel like they're a little bit more responsive. Don't hold me to that. Second session, I'll definitely be able to go in detail to see exactly what they'll do or how they're doing it. The DBs, you know, I'm still seeing them turning around still. You know, if they aren't necessarily if they really aren't necessarily playing close or anything of that nature, I still see them turning around. But however, I did see them actually anticipating some of these passes now. And these are players that didn't even have abilities on. Excuse me. So I was noticing how, like, a lot of the times if they ran a curl or if they were running a route that they ran into their zone, I was noticing how they were really jumping a lot of these routes if they seen it coming. You know what I mean? But the DBs, they seem more reactive. They seem more reactive. Corners as well as the safeties, of course, given the ratings and stuff like that, say that they're supposed to. But if they're in the vicinity to make a play on the ball, they're definitely going to react. So, gosh, let's see. As far as the mechanics go, oh God, what's that one cheesy mechanic? The one thing that people be doing whenever they run out of stamina is they try to like switch ball real quick with the R1 or right bumper button. You can't do that no more. So that's gone. The juking is there, but you can't spam it no more like you used to. You know what I mean? Now it's more skill based. The spinning as well. The spinning feels a lot better, I will say that. The hezzy and the hezzy and like the dead leg, the hezzy for sure, it feels pretty good. I like the hezzy. I like the way that they do the hezzy on there. I'll put it to you like this: the hezzy or the dead leg, the way that they got it kind of made, it feels natural at times. Think about how when Jalen Hurts ran that read option and he hit the dead leg on that Saints linebacker. Remember that? Or that lineman. Remember that move? It's kind of almost like that. It feels a little bit more natural. It doesn't feel forced at times. Like I know I had Saquon Barkley and I know he has jukebox. And I know there was a time where like I caught myself trying to do like a stutter step and I wasn't using any of the right stick. I was just kind of like wiggling the left stick around. And then I just, whatever side I was going to, I faked to that side with the left stick and then right stick, pushed it to the left, the juke left. And I just seen a guy just like kind of, not crumble, but I seen him pretty much just, hit the ground or fall because, I literally broke his ankles. So it's almost like that made sense to a degree. You know what I mean? Everything just feels a lot more, skill based now. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like to me. Now, this is a very surface level review. Don't hold me to this. Do not take it as like, set in stone, because of course things can change. But I'll get more in depth into it and actually start digging a little further in regards to how the game plays overall in general with certain things, or things we were doing in Madden 24. Can we do it in Madden 25 and X, Y, and Z? How the coverages, do the drops actually make a difference now, and everything in between. So this is how the first session went. The second session, I'll definitely take notes, and I'll give you a more in-depth and see exactly what was changed, what was fixed. Can we do this? Can we not do that? And, everything in between. So make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe. Appreciate love, switch up, showing the videos, man, most definitely. Like I said that backwards. But make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share or spread the links, because you know how I do. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. It's your boy Jay Divine, and I'm signing out. Peace.